Welcome to the Sarah Scoop Show. It's time to get the scoop with Sarah.
Well, I am a lifelong super fan for as long as I've been alive and the show's been on. So since I was 11 years old, I started watching Big Brother with my mom, and I was obsessed with it for many, many years. I'm a performer as well. So like I would go off on cruise ships, and I remember I worked a cruise ship contract one time, and I would go into port because I was in a European country, and I would sit there and illegally download it like on a website, and then binge watch an entire week's worth of Big Brother in 1 week on a cruise ship. So it was just my favorite show ever. And so when I had a friend of mine who was on season 17, and I thought to myself, you know what, if she can do it, if she can go on as a performer, then I can do it. So, because I always thought there was this taboo with performers and entertainers with reality TV, like they didn't want to hire them or something. So I decided to go out for season 19, and then I was the alternate for season 19, and then I got called for season 20, and I was like, let's go. So, I mean, there was no way I was turning it down. Well, in season 19, when all of that first happened, when everything was first happening, I was surprised. I was blown away. I could not believe that I was getting a call back. I couldn't believe they were excited about me. I couldn't believe I was going to, I mean, everything was, I was experiencing it for the first time. And it was exciting to be around people who loved the show as well. So I couldn't believe it. It was so exciting. The second time around, however, I was like, all right, like I should have been on last season, so let's make it happen this season. So the second year, I was very much like, y'all need to stop wasting my time and just put me on the show. And then that's what happened. Um, so how to pack living in a Big Brother house? Well, the thing is we actually we get one big suitcase. So we get one, I can't remember if we get one. I think it was just one checked bag we got. So basically I just put a bunch of sports bras, and my friend that was in the house, she was like, it gets really cold in the house. You're not dressing up much. Just have an outfit for every eviction, have your finale outfit, and then pack a bunch of like lounge outfits, because most of the time you're going to be lounging around. So I went out and did the staple Big Brother, like high waisted sport, like a workout pant with a sports bra. That's like the uniform. They say it's a Big Brother uniform. So I went out to Victoria's Secret, and then some stuff that I had bought from the year before when I didn't get on the show. I kept a lot of that. So it's just, you got to pack smart, I guess you could say. So like one bottom could go with like four tops, and then one top could go with like four bottoms. So you have tons of options. And then obviously, if there's somebody in the house that has the same body type as you, then you just take their clothes too. So that's what I would do that as well. I would take Angela's clothes all the time. I believe they asked me this when I was like before, like, well, I was gonna miss the most. I would just say it was my dog. That was probably the hardest thing to live without, because I love cuddling with him, and I just love him. So I was excited though. Like when I went off, I was excited to get away. I wanted to get away. I was ready to like start anew, I guess you could say. So I was ready to ditch the cell phone and ditch everything and just be gone. I was just ready. So I didn't miss much, to be honest. So yeah, those feelings were mainly towards level 6. If I'm being honest with you, uh, things are different. I mean, I was definitely closer with them when I was in the house, like Casey and Angela. I still somewhat speak to them in some capacity, but we're not as close as I would have expected when I was in the house. Like when I was in the house, I was like, these are gonna be my best friends for the rest of my life. Like, this is awesome. This is amazing. But I wouldn't necessarily say I'm somebody that holds on to grudges, or, maybe just a little bit, but it was a really, really big experience in my life and something that I really cherished and something I was really, really happy and excited about. And although I do respect it was a game move, I had spoken many times specifically to Casey about how it was a dream of mine and how much of a super fan I was. So she really knew the root of how excited and happy I was to be there and how much it meant to me. And so it definitely felt like a real big betrayal. Again, I understand from a game perspective, so I'm looking at it more from a personal perspective. But yeah, I still love everybody. Like, I love everybody from my cast. I'll always have love for every single person and the people that screwed me over. But I just wouldn't say we're as close as I would like. I'd say the person I'm closest with is Winston, just because we were pre-jury together. And there is a dynamic between pre-jury and jury, because sometimes, not being around those people for that long. And but yeah, that's where I'd say that's at. Oh gosh. Well, I definitely didn't go back and watch myself. The first thing I did was drink. That was the first thing I did. I went right into the airport, and the first thing I did was go to the nearest bar and get a glass of wine. And I remember having like 2 glasses of wine, and then all of a sudden people kept walking, not tons of people, but like at least 4 people walked up to me during that time. And I was like, no, please don't come to me right now. I was like, but yeah, that was one thing I did. And then just seeing all my friends. I mean, I was so excited to see my friends. I was with them the next day after I was evicted, and they were telling me everything. They're like, you shouldn't have trusted this person. You should have done this. You shouldn't have done that. So, but it was just fun to see my friends. It was a little too soon. It was too soon. I was not happy about seeing everybody so soon, but yeah, I drank. That's a difficult question because for as many years as I've been watching this show, I have always stood by the strategy that I went in to season 20 with, which worked for me up until the 6th week when I was evicted, because it aligned me with the right side of the house and I was in the know every single week. So it's hard to say that, I would change up my strategy. I believe I would go in with basically the same strategy, but I would trust myself, trust my instincts and myself more. I think that's where I started to falter, because the week I was evicted, I let someone else talk me into something I should do when I knew that it was not what I should do, because I'm the type of person to take a bullet for a friend and for anybody. So I would say just being more confident in myself, that would be different in my strategy. I'd be a little bit more confident in my decisions. Gosh, my life is it's definitely different than it was before I went in the house. Before I went in the house, I was performing in Las Vegas and living my life out there. And now I'm in Louisiana with my boyfriend, quarantined. So in a little small town called Ponchatoula. So that's really different. I'm still a performer. And I mean, the only thing that's really changed is, I've gotten a little more notoriety, reached out for more opportunities, and it's given me a platform to be able to showcase my talents, and that's what I'd say like the biggest change and the greatest thing that came from it, and the fact that I was able to play the show of my dreams. So that's what I would say. It's definitely changed a lot from the first, but now it's like I'm happy that it's gone this way though, because I'm a pretty humble person, I'd like to think. So it took a while to get out of the Big Brother bubble, I guess you could say, the reality TV bubble. So it was nice to be able to like come back down to earth and be like, okay, I remember I had a great life before Big Brother. So it's different, but it's the same too. I worked with AfterBuzz TV for the last year, and I did the Big Brother after show with them. Unfortunately, they decided not to do shows this summer and going into the fall because of COVID. So the host of that show contacted me and said, "Hey, we should do outside the house." And I said, "That sounds like a great idea," because he basically said, you just pop in, get Big Brother alum to come on with you, and we would talk Big Brother. And I mean, what's better than talking an all-star season? Of course, I mean, everybody's doing it. So I was like, you know what? I want to stay in the know, and I've wanted to be on my own podcast or co-hosting on a podcast on my own for a while. So it's nice, and I'm hoping we can continue to keep it going. And we're going to have Big Brother guests every single week. Tonight we're going to have Caitlin Herman. So we'll have her on, and yeah, it's very exciting. And we discuss the live evictions. It's every Thursday right after the eviction, and yeah, it's just a lot of fun. So I've said this before, that I was so excited when the cast was announced. Of course, I heard a lot of different people, and people that are on it and people that are not on it. So it was definitely surprising, some of the names I kept seeing, but I was excited to see, I guess you could say, the supporting cast get their stage time, get their main role, if you will, in the musical, because it's so, the Dans and the Derricks and the Caseys and all, they're a little shoved down our throat. So it was nice to see the backups, the supportings, get their chance to prove their game without their partner. So that was exciting to see. But I will say that, the entertainment factor of the season feels like it's been at an all-time low, which has been a little disappointing. Like, we don't have, the Caitlin Hermans running around and being ridiculous. You don't have the JCs running around. You don't have me running around. You don't have the Brittany Haynes, So we're missing a lot of that personality, but it feels as though the game's really about to get really messy. So I'm excited about that, because I'm ready for it to get super messy and super catty, and I'm ready for some fights. I mean, the people that are lined up to make it to the end, who have the best shot right now, are Cody, Enzo, Danny, Nicole Franzel, and Christmas. I mean, they're in the top 5. They're in the Power Alliance. I think Nicole Franzel and maybe possibly Cody could get picked off, leaving Ian, Danny, and Christmas. I'm sorry, Enzo, Danny, and Christmas. I think those 3 are going to make it really far. I would love to see Janelle go really far, but unfortunately, the cards were not in her favor this time around. She didn't have Rachel Riley there. She didn't have, probably some people that would have definitely been on her side and on her team. I think the cards maybe were stacked a little bit against her going into the season. But her and Kaser are used to playing this game way different than new schoolers are. I mean, they're used to fighting for their life every single time they go in. They came in as one of the only big pairs, the most recognizable pair. So their target was pretty big going in. So yeah, the cards are stacked against. I would love to see Janelle go far, but unfortunately, I think she's going to be out within the next 2 weeks, unless they win HOH back-to-back.
Thank you for watching The Sarah Scoop Show. Head to sarahscoop.com for more.